Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be sorting an array, and this is the screen where I'd like to show you my plan to sort an array. First, we're going to use I loop to select this first position, that's 0, and we're going to use J loop to select this second position. So we're going to compare basically this and this. Okay, so I will be compared with J. I is 0 and j is going to be something just beside I, so I plus 1. So if I will be 1, then j will be 2. That's how we're going to make it dynamic, by typing I plus 1. So I plus 1 will be 0 plus 1 equals 1. So 0 will be this position 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3. These are the position, okay? And these are the values. Now 9 is compared to 2, so 9 is greater than 2, right? Which means this smaller number, that's 2, should be here in the place of 9, and 9 should be here in the place of 2. So we're going to switch places of 2 and 9. So this 9 will be 2 and 2 will be 9. So like this, and this is going to be 9. Okay. 9. Now the next thing we'll be doing is this j will move to this position, because we're going to do j plus plus, so it's going to be 2. Now I will be compared to j, which means 2 will be compared to 6. So 2 is smaller than 6, so it's already sorted, right? So we don't need to do anything. Now let's move towards 3. It's going to compare if 2 is greater than 3 or not. No, we don't need to do anything. So this is done basically, right? The first j loop is completed, because we're already at the end of this array. Now what happens is that I will be incremented, and the value of I we will be comparing is going to be here on the first position, and the value of j will be here on the second position, because j is always I plus 1. So when I is 1, the value of j will be 2. Okay, so now we're going to compare I 9 and j as 6. So 6 is smaller than 9, right? So we need to switch their places. So let's switch the places of these two. So this is going to be, this 9 is going to be 6, and this 6 will be 9. Okay, now what we will be doing is we will be moving ahead, and j is going here. Now it's going to compare 6 with 3. So 3 is smaller than 6, so obviously it's not sorted. So 3 should come over here, and 6 should go over here, right? So let's bring 3 over here, and let's put 6 over here. Alright, so we have come to the end of j loop. So now let's use this color. Now our starting point will be 9 for I, and for j it's going to be 6, which is I plus 1. Okay, so 9 is compared with 6. Obviously 9 is greater, so it should be going over here, and 6 should come here. So let's do that real quick. Alright, now we have come to an end of this j loop, and now what happens is that I will go over here, and this 9 is cannot be compared, and j or is also at the end of we don't need to run this because it's already an end. The condition is satisfied. So now 2, 3, 6 and 9 is sorted exactly as per our output requirement, and this is how we will be doing. But let's understand how we will be switching this, how we will be switching. So let's remove everything. And so if it's 9 and 6, this is not sorted, right? So how are we going to switch their places? If I put 6 in place of 9, so let's assume I am putting 6 over here, and in the place of 6 it's going to be nothing. Now so 6 is gone over here, so here was 9 initially, right? So the 9 is actually gone because it's assigned with 6. So to save this value of 9, we're going to store 9 in a temp variable. Okay, so let's assume this is I and this is j. So the value of I will be stored in a temp variable, either 9 or I. And now we are going to put the value of j in I, like we already did. 6 is placed here, and we're going to put 9 over here from the temp variable. Okay, so placing this value of j in I will be, okay, the value of j is assigned to I, okay, and there is nothing in the value of j for now, so temp j will be temp. Okay, all right, let's flip to our Visual Studio and let's see this how it exactly works. So basically it's asking how many numbers do you want to enter inside an array. So we are going to enter n numbers because we don't know how many numbers the user is going to enter. So console dot readline. So the user enters 5 numbers or 7 numbers. It's integer, and it's always, this console dot readline is always in string. So we need to parse this int dot parse to integer. Okay, now that we know how many numbers a user want to enter inside an array, let's create integer of an array and let's name it user input equals new integer. And we can actually put number, but right now we're going to put n because we already know how many numbers will be inside an array because it's decided by an user, right? If we put like 15, it does work, but it's going to allocate more memory space than required. What if user just inputs like 5, so a lot of space will be wasted? Or if user inputs 25, then we only have 15 here, so that's not sufficient. So this is for the best memory management. Okay, now let's start looping and taking user inputs. Okay, we're gonna do z equals 0 n is the number entered by user. Okay, n minus 1. Okay, now console enter the number this user is going to get this message, and they are going to enter a number that we will be reading. Okay, so user input Z, console.readline, but we need to parse this to string. Oh, sorry, it's to integer. Okay, now whatever number the user enters, it's going to be stored in an array inside user input. So over here, okay. Now that we have an array of numbers entered by a user, we are ready to work on our sorting. So let's do for I equals 0. We're gonna start with 0, then equals. Okay, now we're going to use nested loop for. So j is always going to be I plus 1, remember? Okay, now we're going to check for the condition if user input I is greater than user input j. So let's assume if it's 9 and 6, right? This is I and this is j. So if this is greater than this, obviously it is, we need to switch, right? Switch the places. So we'll be using this formula that we just used over here. So if it is so, then int temp user input I. So temp will be, we will be putting this 9 inside temp, and then we will be assigning this j to I. Okay, let's assign int user input okay. The intelligence is actually helping me a lot, and this actually works. So this is assigned here. Now we have nothing in the place of j, so in j we will be placing temp variable. So user input j has the value of temp, so this is actually working well. Now what we can do is, actually it's already sorted using this formula, so we just need to console write line the final result. Now we're going to use for loop. Okay, console.write line and user input, and we're going to pass x because the position is here. Okay, let's save it, and whenever we get a value, let's put a comma so that we know, so that it's separated, I mean. Okay, so enter the number of array that you want to insert. So I'm gonna insert 5 numbers. So okay, first number will be 43, 23, 20, 5, 90. So enter, and this is the sorted array: 5, 20, 23, 43, and 90, and that actually true. So thank you very much for watching.